Hi guys, it's Kales, and I'm coming at you with an ARC review of what I think is going to be one of the best books of 2019, Here and Now and Then by Mike Chen. So I picked up this book. It was one of the ARCs that was recommended to us by our HarperCollins rep. It is a debut novel, and holy crap. Guys, I have nothing but amazing things to say about this book, and I don't say that lightly. You guys know how critical sometimes I can be of books, but this I really think is going to be one for 2019 that is to look out for. It comes out January 22nd, and like I said, it is Mike Chen's debut novel. So to give you a little bit of an overview about it real quick, it is a sci-fi novel about this time-traveling agent. He's kind of a secret agent for a time-traveling agency in the future, and he gets stuck in the 1990s, and he gets no response back from his people, and so he decides to make a life for himself in the 1990s. Fast forward about 15 years or so, and his agency comes back for him. It's only been 2 weeks for them in the future, but it's been 15 years for him, and he's built a family and a life, and they decide that his family and his life are actually ultimately a time paradox, and they can't exist, and things go crazy, and it's amazing and adventurous and awesome and heartfelt, and I just have a lot of really good things to say about it, so that's what this video is about. I need to tell you guys first off that I finished this book in 2 days, and I mean, granted I had a lot of time to read. One of my jobs, I just kind of sit there and I'm allowed to read, so it gives me some time to absorb really amazing books like this. But I did read it in 2 days. I think I cried 3 times, and I laughed out loud. It was a really great concept and a really great book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I felt that this book was kind of a cross between the movie Frequency and Outlander, and I'm not talking about like the sexy Scottish Highlander Outlander parts. No. I'm talking about Claire's journey of being ripped out of her home and her lifestyle and having to fight between these two timelines that, you know, how do you even comprehend that, like, as a character and a human? Because obviously that's not gonna happen, maybe, in the world. And so it's something that, like, you're like, oh my gosh, how does somebody reconcile these two lives that they love and that they've built? And they just, it's really great, that emotional side of it. Then it has the frequency side of it, because while that has like a time travel thing too, really that's a beautiful story about the love between a parent and a child, and that is a beautiful portrayal here and now and then as well, because of the main character's search for his daughter and his desire to save her and be a part of her life, and this whole thing, just, yeah. So I really think it's a interesting cross between Frequency and Outlander, which may be a weird description, but I don't care. It makes sense in my head. The best thing about this is that this book felt familiar. It hits home on really interesting core things in the human experience, and yet at the same time I still felt it was fresh and entertaining and something in a weird way that, yes, I had read before, but I hadn't read this. And it was a weird thing of deja vu, but not in a bad way. Like I said, it was something that felt familiar and comforting. I also want to quickly talk about the world that he built here. It was so easy to understand, because sometimes they drop you into high sci-fi societies and it's a lot to figure out, and in this one it just seemed to go by with a breeze. And so I really would recommend it for somebody who maybe is into real world stories with a twist of sci-fi or a twist of fantasy in there, but it doesn't consume the entire book and you're not delving into some unknown world like Brandon Sanderson, Tolkien, something like that. Those are great, but this is a book that, like I said, he explains the world so easily and so quickly, and you just kind of jump on this bandwagon and are able to glide seamlessly through this world without questioning it too much, because he's developing an entire society here in a futuristic way of travel and means of operating in the world, and yet it's still something that's easy to follow. So I really admired that, especially from a debut author, being able to come in and just do this, what seemed like without trying. Obviously there was a lot of work put into this, but it was so easy to follow, which I really appreciated. And to be honest with you, the characters were what made this journey. You instantly fell in love with Kin and Heather and Miranda and Penny, and even the stick-up-his-ass Marcus, you know? They felt human and whole, and while they had conflicting ideals and interests, you could understand them and sympathize with them, and yet they all still had their own flaws, and like I said, you sort of wanted to root for them regardless, and I really think that it was the characters for me that made this story and how their relationships intertwine and how they interact with one another, because even though it is set partially in the future and there's a lot of different time jumping, you still can follow it and follow them because the journey is their journey. And again, it's something that's so familiar. It hit me so close to home, even though it was about time travelers. Sure, you really rooted for them and empathized with them, and they felt whole and complex, and I really enjoyed delving into their story and going on this journey with them. Ultimately, guys, I am going to be an advocate for this book in 2019. It was one of my favorite books that I read last year, and it's one of these books that I really think is going to be able to hit a lot of people. If you're a fan of Hank Green's An Absolutely Remarkable Thing or Mr. Penumbra's 24-Hour Bookstore, it kind of falls in that same vein of weird combinations of modern and future and technology and old technology and old ways of doing things, this old and new and young and old, and really just an interesting story. I really loved it, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars if you haven't guessed already. But like I said, I want to be an advocate for this book because I think it's worthwhile, and I really would like put my stamp of approval on it. And again, you guys know how critical I can be. It also had great writing. I can't speak highly enough about this book. Like I said, I devoured it, and I just remember feeling after I was finished with it of, wow, that was something really special that I finished and that I read. And so I had to share it with you guys. And like I said, it comes out January 22nd, so you definitely should pre-order it from your local independent bookstore, or head there on the 22nd and pick up a copy of this book, put it on hold from the library, make sure that you get a copy so that you can read Here and Now and Then by Mike Chen, which in my opinion is going to be one of the best books of 2019. So let me know down in the comments below if this sounds like it's something up your alley, or if you're like, why the heck would I even pick this up? I'm happy to talk to you guys as always. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you enjoy reading for 2019, and I hope to continue recommending some upcoming books that are going to be coming out this year. So keep an eye out for those ARC reviews. Let me know down in the comments below what you're excited to read in 2019. And yeah, until next time, guys. Bye!